We've been on the theme of bringing out your inner light. On Shabbat also, this amazing Shabbat that we had, and we called it the Lit Shabbaton, unlocking your inner superpower. And as Jews, we believe that every person here, every person has a soul, and inside of you there's an unlimited energy that you're unaware of, and we have to bring it out. And what we do is in tradition, it's because of the sin of Adam. This is Jewish tradition, but because we lowered our level of spirituality, we got more connected to the earth, we are covered in skin, we are covered in physicality. And the physicality, is there music playing right now? It's great, it goes with my voice. So, no, it's actually peace, it's calming. So on the outside we have a physicality, but we in tradition believe that you have a tremendous inner strength and light. So sometimes when it comes to bringing out your light, you think to yourself, oh, helping other people is not going to... I'm dealing with my own stuff. I've got my own life. I'm dealing with my own job, dealing with my own dating, dealing with my own things that I'm busy with. How on earth can I impact anyone in this world if I'm dealing with my own issues that I have? Oh, do you want to unlock it a second? It's unlocked. It's all good. So, that's it, the inner superpower. Listen, it was in me and then, she came out. Okay. Oh, whatever. Am I recording this? Hey, Miriam! I love you. You want to say hi to everyone?
Yes.
Let's see how she reacts. Say hi. I've never seen her shy. Where's Mama? Where's Ima? Okay. That's fine. She's okay. You good? So part of our strength is to bring out our inner light. If we bring out inner light, how do we do that? So we spoke about many other things in the past, being calm, dealing with frustration. We spoke about many things. But one of the ways to bring out our inner light is actually to be there for other people. When you lift others, you're actually lifting yourself up. When you're giving light, when you're giving strength to others, not just like, come on, dude, don't be depressed. I'm talking about more than that. I'm talking about really being there in a way that's going to help someone, then you are actually starting to bring out your light. No one's going to remember you many years later on as a person that had a career. And no one has on there, he fixed some teeth if he was a dentist and wrote some helped the bank write some checks, or no one's going to do that. No one's going to remember you that way. But if you want to be really great, successfully great in our terms of success, not just money, it's about being there also for others, lifting others. And when you do, you'll realize that you have an inner strength you're unaware of. In Judaism, when you take on responsibilities, you also have an inner strength that you reveal, and that inner strength brings out a better side of you. So this is actually taught in the Torah. It says that a lot of times you'll be placed in a situation where someone is stuck. And you're like, why me? Why is he coming to me? Why is he asking me for help? Why is this person asking me for advice? And that could be your thought. But not in Jewish thinking. In Jewish thinking it says, "V'natan lecha rachamim v'richamecha." God will put you in a place of mercy for someone else. You're randomly walking down the street and someone actually is genuinely needing help. They fell on the floor and it's an older lady and it's obvious that you should be helping them. In that moment, you were placed there. You walked there in that second, in that moment for a reason. You could have been an hour away in another place. But for some reason you decided to cancel that meeting and you ended up staying here. And then you saw, whenever something happens that's crazy, even if it's not crazy, but especially if it's crazy, you have to know that so many things had to happen in order for that moment to happen to you. Even if you meet a friend that you've not met in months, and you suddenly meet that friend at a certain hour in a certain store, well, it only happened because he cancelled his job that day, and you cancelled yours, and you ended up being in the store, and there's thousands of things that lead for that moment to happen. So that's what we believe when it comes to life. We take every second like a miracle. You meet somebody you've not seen in a long time, that's not just I met him. I just experienced a miracle. That's how life should be. So whenever someone comes to you and it's a difficult situation, someone fell, or whatever it is, in Jewish thought it's V'natan lecha rachamim, God put you in that moment of mercy, meaning someone's needing you, v'richamecha, and then it would give you in return mercy from God. Meaning in return, you have mercy on others, you have more blessing in your life because of it. God has mercy on you. Why does God need to have mercy on me? Because I'm not always perfect. In Jewish thought, no one gets away with action. There's no such thing as doing crazy stuff like, Hitler did and getting away with it free. No such thing. Any action you do, energy will come back to you, which is negative. If you do negative energy, it comes back to you. In Jewish thought, in Kabbalah, it's actually taught that when you do something negative, the energy, there's like a negative force, there's an angel being created from that negative force. I know this is very mystical, but listen to this. There's an angel that's a negative force, and it's desperate to cause a damage back in the air. It's a negative energy that's bad. The saying, like when it rains, it storms. When one crazy thing happens, another crazy thing happens. That's because in life, when a negative energy is around, it's accepting more and negative energy. So in Jewish thought, an angel's literally being created, and God is unlimited in his mercy, doesn't want that angel to hurt. So he holds it. That's called noseh avon. It's one of the things we read of the 13 attributes of mercy of God. He holds that energy and he says, no, pulls it up, like, right? You can imagine the movie. And then what happens is there's waiting time. And God is waiting for us to say, oh, we regret what we did. And that just melts that energy that we created. Okay, so that energy that we created, when we regret what we did and we really think about it and internally change our thought of what we did and we really regret it, that negative energy is crumbled and is taken away. So this is a Kabbalistic mystical teaching. My point is that every moment that someone needs you, be there. Be there for that person, because that's your ticket to something greater. It's a ticket to another step in your life. Don't be that person for the entire year, no different than last year. You just worked, you came home, you ate, you slept. No, if there's someone in your job, in your office, in your life that's saying to you, hey, can I have an hour of your time? Do it. Because that hour of your time, be out there. That hour of your time is your ticket to greatness. Nothing else. Your ticket to greatness is not your entire day in work. Your ticket to greatness is that one person that comes to you and asks you, can I have that hour of help? You work today, everyone does that. And it's great. But that 1 hour of help, that's unique. No one else was doing it. You did it. But makom she'en ish tishtadel liot ish, it says when there's a place where there's no one there, you be there. In an energy where no one's there to be the great person, you be that person. Lift up yourself, do it. This is what we're talking about. So if I want to bring out my inner light, this is a very important energy. And we're talking about Teshuvah, we're talking about Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, which is coming up just very soon, the high holidays. We want change. Rosh Hashanah means change. What are we changing? Changing for what? Like regretting myself and having guilt? If you're feeling guilt, you're making a mistake. This is not the point. The point is to bring out your inner light. Bring out who you are inside of you to its fullest. Not guilt. Forget the guilt. Grow out of it. The inner you, that light in you needs to come out better. That's teshuvah. Teshuvah means to return. I'm returning to my inner self. To do what? To bring out my truth, my inner truth that I really care and resonate about. the real self that's happy, that wants. This is what we're doing. We're reconnecting to our inner self. The shofar represents, when we blow the shofar, that represents many things. One of them is that it's like a king. We're coronating a king. We remind ourselves that I'm a child of a king. I'm not just a human being randomly in this world and then I die and that's it and life is just boom. No, I'm created for a purpose. I have a reason here. And that reminds me how important I am. I'm not just random, I'm important. I have tremendous role in this world and I'm here to do something great, to bring out my light. This is the message. Okay, so this is the topic for today, which is Machrio LeKaf Zechut. Rabbi Noach Weinberg wrote a book of 48 ways to being a great person, a wise person. In Judaism is not just wise in knowledge, but also in behavior. 48 ways to being a great person. One of them is Machrio LeKaf Zechut, making someone else meritorious. Someone's like here, and you take that person to here. You're doing that. You're building lives. You can have children, please God, one day. And in Judaism, you have children by teaching people. Too. That's a child of yours. It says that if someone teaches someone Torah, it's like your child. When you elevate someone, that's your baby, because you, not literally, but that's something you created in this world. That's an energy that you created. It's a life that you gave to this person in this world. And that's greatness. Okay, so I'm going to tell you some crazy stories and things about this idea. And I really believe that this can really be something very special for everyone that's here. So here's the big question. And we'll move off from this onto something else. But here's the big question. If, God forbid, you walk into your hotel room and you see a friend of yours standing on the edge of a balcony and he's saying, I hate my life. It's the worst thing ever. Would you say, okay, go? No way. You'll do everything to try and stop him. Please, come back. Life is so amazing. I love you. Please, come here. And you'll do everything you can to try and save that person. Do you know why? Because in you, you know that you need to lift people up. In you, you know that I can't just yeah, it's true. There's an idea of free will. This guy can do whatever he wants, right? There's an idea that, let him have his own choice. That's what he wants to do. Let him do whatever he wants. Free will. He's on the top of the balcony. Let him jump. But we don't say that. Why don't we say that? Why don't we just say, someone wants to jump off the building, let him go? We don't say that. I thought people believe that everyone has their own free choice and free will, and they can do anything they want. So why do we tell them, why do we feel the urge deep down to stop them from doing that? You ever wondered? Free will? We've got to be consistent. If there's a value which says that there's free will, everyone should be able to do whatever they want, so be consistent. We had someone speak here, Ilan Javanfard. He was here 2 weeks ago, and he was talking about this is one of the areas of his expertise. Why is there such an organization? Why shouldn't people have the free will? Do you get what I'm saying? What is the answer? The answer is because deep down we know that we've got to do something greater. That life is valuable, is precious, and I can't just stand by and watch as someone says that my life is not precious. Deep down, I know I need to do an action to help that person. There's something in me that says I got to make a difference. Okay? Now, I'm going to just move off from this a second and tell you some amazing things. So we know we're coming to Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, and in Jewish thought, part of Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur is about forgiveness, forgiving people, forgiving yourself, forgiving others. Why is forgiveness such a good thing? Why is it good to forgive? Is it always good to forgive? We've got to know over there.
In your own time, yes.
In your own time, okay. Huh?
Yes.
It's always good to forgive?
No.
Usually.
What about an abusive parent?
Forgive, but don't forget.
Or maybe, I don't know about that. You want that to stay in your heart, a pain forever? I don't know.
Can I ask what we're defining as forgiveness?
How do I define forgiveness? Or what am I defining? And that's what I'm trying to get to. I'm trying to get to that. This is the holiday that we're in, which is forgiveness. I want to discuss it with everyone. What is it? Is it the right thing for whatever we think is forgiveness? Right? Is it the right thing to do always? If someone abuses someone, should I just say, okay, I'm in pain for the rest of my life about this person, and it's a place in me that I have to keep with me for the rest of my life? Yeah.
You have to earn it.
You have to earn it. Okay, that's good. That's good. Meaning, if someone just hits you and then runs off, you're like, okay, I forgive. No, you can't do that. So how do we define? That's a good question you're asking. How do we get to the deep definition of where my forgiveness should be? Okay?
I've seen an old clip that goes around Instagram.
Please.
I'm sure everybody else has seen it at some point or other, but there's no old, it probably looks like a rabbi who's talking about how he can't ever forget the Germans for what they did during the Holocaust.
Right.
Is that a burden that, the Germans technically never did anything to me, but they may have done something to, not my ancestors, they all got out of town before any of the crap hit the fan. But so how do we do that kind of situation where something happened long ago? Very bad.
Right.
But,
So I heard a great rabbi, this is not from me, Rabbi Lau, who was the chief rabbi of Israel, and he's a Holocaust survivor himself, and he saw everything. And he himself said that I've been back to Poland many times, I've been back to the camps many times. He goes every year, he just was there now. A very old man right now. And he keeps saying, I don't care, after the Holocaust, I didn't care about wanting the Nazis dead. Obviously, I wanted evil to stop, but that wasn't my mission anymore. My mission was, it wasn't, and I actually heard this from survivors of the Nova also, who were taken hostage, said the same concept. I'm not in any more hate with those people. I'm not angry with them. I just want to live my life to its fullest. Meaning, they're basically saying, in their experience, it was so painful and horrible that now that I have my freedom, I'm not even going to give them an inch of my freedom, right, for them. I'm not going to allow them even to get into me. I'm going to live my life to its fullest, and that's what matters to me most. And that was the message Rabbi Lau shared with the world. So I don't know what that really means. Did they completely forgive the Nazi? Probably not. But at the end of the day, what their message was, I'm too busy after that experience to make a difference to this world, to bring my inner light into the world, that I can't have time to think about my hate for them, and I don't want to. I don't even urge it. Yes. Yeah.
Oh, well, I was going to say, if take the example of someone who comes and smashes the window of your car and they say, I'm sorry, I think you said this to me. And they say, I'm going to do it again, right? First, the person who goes, smashes the window of the car, and then says, I'm going to repair it, I'm going to take the effort, I'm going to make, put the money in, I'm going to repair it, and then I say, I'm sorry, right?
Right.
There's a scenario in the form where we don't necessarily forgive, and the latter, there we do. I think it's your question of why is forgiveness so important? Because when we forgive others and we show compassion on others, Hashem will show forgiveness to us. Right?
Exactly.
So in our prayers after our Eid and Mari, right, in the nighttime prayers, it starts off by saying, right, I forgive anyone who has sinned or vexed or angered me, whether financially or otherwise. And this idea is that we're also, as people, we're going to make mistakes, right? And if we if we're unwilling to show compassion to others, how can we expect to be treated any differently by God?
Right. So there's a great rabbi in the Talmud, to add on your point, that before he went to sleep, he always said, I forgive everyone that did harm me today. And that's actually added into our nighttime prayer. I don't know if anyone knows the nighttime prayer before you sleep, but there's a beautiful small little prayer you can say. And you say, I'm forgiving anyone that hurt me. They asked him, what was unique about your life that you lived so long? He says, I believe this is why I lived long. It could very well be, on a much lower level, simply when I forgive, I'm able to move on, I'm able to live. So forgiving is not necessarily about saying to the person that hurt me, you were fine with what you did, but it's about me freeing myself from the pain of the past. And that's very important. Okay? So I want to move on. I just want to tell you this. This is what Maimonides says, and it's beautiful. When someone does something wrong to you, you must tell him. And tell him, why did he do this to me? And by the way, that's very important for wisdom for life. If something bothers you, don't play the game like when it really bothers you. Just very clearly say that, that doesn't feel good to me. Just clearly say that really hurt me. And we don't want to sound soft, so we don't say it. And we say, yeah, I can hold it and we're strong. But it's not true. Express that feeling, and that person will stop doing it. A lot of times, a lot of issues come because we're not expressing our feelings, especially in relationships. Especially in a relationship, what's the biggest issue? There's an argument that starts and then it gets worse and worse and worse because we thought we can just ignore it. So the best way is with a smile to express that this really hurt me, this bothered me. So Maimonides says, if someone does something wrong to you, you must tell him and ask him, Lama asita li kach v'kach? Why did he do this to me? Why did he hurt me with such and such a way? How do we know that this is a requirement? Because the Torah says you should rebuke your friend. And if your friend says, okay, I'm sorry, you should forgive him. Meaning, don't forgive until he says, I'm sorry for my action. A lot of times, if you know that this person needs to stop what he's doing, and he will stop if I tell him not to do it, then it will be fixed. For instance, a child is a perfect example. A child does something to me that they shouldn't be doing. So then I say, that's not okay. That was wrong. Time out. And within a second, oh, sorry. We all know why they're saying sorry, because they want to get out of timeout. They want dessert, they want candy, or whatever it is. So, but it's not smart. That's not the right way. What's the right way? A person must say to him, I'm not sure I'm ready to hear a sorry yet. And then give him some time. Maybe give him a little time, a little bit, to recognize what he did wrong, not just to say sorry. So this is what Maimonides is saying. A person must recognize that the person that did something wrong to you really really sincerely agrees that I did something wrong, and I'm sorry for it, I apologize for it. Then the other person can forgive him. But don't forgive him straight away, because you really want that person to grow. Not for me. It's not personal, by the way. Maimonides doesn't say, take it personally. Not at all. You have a mitzvah, an obligation to rebuke someone when they're doing something wrong. So if they're doing something wrong to you, you have an obligation to tell them. And if they say sorry, you accept. Maimonides says something really interesting. He says that if you don't forgive after 3 times, then you're cruel. He said sorry again, and he said sorry again, or she, and you know that they're sincere, and you still don't forgive, that's cruelty. That's already, cruelty, by the way, means personal, taking it personally, ego. That is the moment where someone should let go, yes.
So, would there be more to that, though? Because Judaism is Judaism puts a lot of emphasis on action and responsibility. So, would just saying sorry by the wrongdoer be enough, or should that be backed up by action and take responsibility for what they did?
So yeah, that's up to you to realize if this is really sincere. If you've experienced this person in the past doing these wrong things, and them just saying the word sorry is empty air, so you'll need to ask, like, how do I know? How do I know you're sorry? And they'll start trying to prove it that they are, right? So that's a way. But you have to really try. It's your job as a good person and forgiving. Remember, forgiving someone and forgiveness is a godly trait. God does that to us all the time. By the way, it says that this is our mission in the world, to be godly, to be great. This is what we're talking about, bringing out your inner light. How do you become godly? One of the ways is to forgive. If someone hurts you, and you know that they could be forgiven, or you know that they can stop, you forgive. That's how you become godly. It says, by God, there's 13 different ways where he forgives. By God, the real way of forgiveness is he's all-knowing, he's infinite being, all-loving, and gives me life even when I do something wrong. Can you imagine the thief that steals? How does he have his heart pumping? In Jewish thought, there's a God. So his heart is pumping, his brain is working, and he's stealing, doing something that God says don't do. So every second, his heartbeat, his health, his body is actually digesting all the food, his immune system, everything's happening. And all whilst he's doing something wrong. That's a real element. That's a level of forgiveness that we can never reach, because God knows everything. He knows exactly what he's done to you. It's like somebody that you're kind to, and he's like, and then he does something wrong to you. Excuse me, after all I did? You know, you're dating, and you've been for months on end, you've been doing so much for the person you're dating, and right? This is how it works normally. Excuse me, I did so much for you. And that's what you say, that's what you did, right? This is the idea of, I invested so much. God invests in you more than anyone can ever invest in you. And yet, sometimes we do something wrong. And what's the message? That he's forgiving, he waits. He says, I'll wait. Because he's human, he makes mistakes, he's a good kid. Everyone makes mistakes. I'll wait a little bit, I'll come back. Anyway, so forgiveness is very important, but not always, because sometimes you've got to tell a person that, I know what you did is wrong, and he needs to know that what he did is wrong. Going back, now let's take this back to the idea of lifting someone up. This is really, really amazing. Okay, we were saying that the way that you become successful in life is not by just living life within yourself, but being there for others. And being there for others means elevating him, and sometimes lifting him up in a way that he feels awesome. And what the language here is not called tochacha, which is rebuke. Hey dude, what are you doing? You're wasting your time. That's not what it says. One of the ways to greatness here in this language that's used, that's important. Rebuke sometimes is important when someone's doing something wrong, right? When he really is unaware of his wrong behavior, sometimes this rebuke is important. But in this context, it's Machrio LeKaf Zechut, which means lifting him up without him even knowing about it. That's what we're talking about. Subtly. No words, but you just help that person get out of his locked problem. The guy is depressed and he's in bed, and take him out. Say, come on, let's go. We're going to the beach today. We're going biking or whatever. We're going to the gym. You want to join me? Doing that is greatness. Don't take that lightly. That's what you're going to be remembered for. That's what's going to make you a godly person. Lifting up others. When you lift others, God lifts you. This is what we're talking about. So, what does it mean? Someone's, let's say, depressed and he's broken, or he's gone through a breakup. Right? His job is not getting the job he deserves. He's got a PhD. He's got a great degree. He worked so hard to get to this point, and now he can't get a job. Do you know how many people I know who worked so hard in school and college and they can't find a good job? So suddenly you start feeling this feeling of not appreciated, not valued. What do you do to that person? How do you lift him up? So one way is momentarily take him out, go out with that person. But on another level, it's make that person recognize that they are accomplished. Tell them how awesome they are. Look what you did. You made it. You went through school. You studied. You got this far. Okay, if we give up on people that are down and are broken, people will give up on us too when we are down and broken. We don't want them to be broken. Don't let them be broken. Even if 10 times you tried this to help this person, then he fell and he didn't listen to you, doesn't matter. The same way we want ourselves that no one should give up on us, we must do that on others. This is, by the way, this is Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur. If we want God to forgive us, We got to forgive and help others, lift them up. Okay, so I brought this book. This is a rabbi called Dovid Trenk who passed away a few years ago. Crazy story. So he had a yeshiva for religious kids, a school for religious kids that came from a very, his book is called Just Love Them, Rabbi Dovid Trenk. They came from a very broken home, broken kids, very hurt kids. And he decided, no, there's no Jew left behind. I'm taking them in. These kids, some of them were on the streets, he took them in. And he opened a very successful yeshiva where these people will come through his system and do really well. And one Shabbat during the winter, this is in Lakewood, so it's like New Jersey area. One Shabbat during the winter, snow, freezing, in the yeshiva, the rabbi went home to be with his wife. And as soon as he went home, one of the kids, young, probably doesn't even have a license, goes into the rabbi's office on Shabbat, which is this is a religious place, goes into the office and says, I know where the rabbi's keys are for his car, I'm going to take them. And he starts taking the key, and so now you've got theft, breaking Shabbat, which is definitely not for this kid, not for any Jew, especially this. So he takes the key, and as he's about to take the key, someone else was watching. He's like, yo, dude, what are you doing? And he says, nothing, I'm just taking the rabbi's car for a ride. So he's like, on Shabbat? Did the rabbi let? This is not... So the kid says, I don't care. And the other one that saw it says, listen, this is something you're not doing. If you do it, I'm telling him. Then tell him. I don't care. He says, that's something I can't. You're pushing boundaries. If I ignore it, I'm going to get in trouble. I'm going to go to the rabbi and tell him. He says, tell him, I don't care. And so this kid takes it's a crazy story. The kid takes the key, leaves the yeshiva, goes to where the car is parked, takes the car, and he tells the kid, I'm going to the movies. Wait, I'm going to the movies. Takes the car and off he goes. Takes the car to the movies. Now, with snow, to get from where they are to where the movies is, by foot, will take you about 40 minutes. This kid went to the rabbi's house and told him, knocked on his door and says, Rabbi, I'm so sorry to disturb your meal on Shabbat, but so-and-so took your car. And it's just ridiculous. He stole your car. What? Okay. The rabbi, without extreme reaction, no problem. He tells his wife, I'll see you soon. He takes on his jacket, scarf, and he starts walking. He walks all the way to the cinema, to the movies, and all of a sudden, on a Shabbat, you see this long bearded rabbi walking into the movie, and they say, hey, what movie are you coming to watch? He says, I'm not coming to watch a movie. I have a friend that's in here that I need to speak to. So they say, well, you're not coming in without a ticket. He says, look, do I look like I'm coming here to watch a movie? I'm coming here to get my friend, and I'm going to leave. So after a few minutes of them saying, no, he said, okay, no problem. Now you've got this rabbi walking into every room looking for his kid that took his car. And he goes from one cinema room to the other. And eventually he sees him. He's busy watching the movie. And this rabbi sits right next to him. And he's busy in the movie. And all of a sudden, he turns to the left. And then he turns again. Rabbi, what are you doing here? He said, nothing. I just want to let you know. He sees that he had popcorn and some snack. He said, the Coke's good, but I'm not sure about the popcorn. It might not be so kosher. They use the non-kosher butter for the popcorn. I'm not so sure about the popcorn. That's it. And the rabbi gets up and starts walking out. And understand that he's drenched, he's cold, he's wet from the snow that he's been walking in. He starts walking out, and all of a sudden from behind him, Rabbi, I'm coming. This kid walked all the way back home with him, 40 minutes, and went back to his place. The rabbi, the whole way home, never spoke a word about him taking his car, about him not having a license to drive, and about him breaking Shabbat, nothing. And ever since, they never spoke about it. The next day his car was in the driveway, and nothing else happened. And this kid said, I have never seen so much love until this moment. And at that moment I decided, this really is a life I want. And he, this person that writes the story, I was a real troubled kid, but that got me back, that brought me back, and he became a rabbi, a big educator himself. So, isn't that a crazy story? What's the message of the story? Sometimes people do something that they shouldn't be doing, but his mission was nothing about his ego. Zero ego. The rabbi's mission was zero ego. It's just to lift up that kid. Tell him, I love you, I'm here for you, I'm with you. And that's all he needed to hear. And that's something really important. That's greatness, by the way. He passed away, but his greatness and his legacy is being taught. It's an unbelievable book. Till today, people speak to his wife about direction of how to deal with kids that are struggling, and how to work with them. And he had a tremendous energy and a tremendous amount of love. There's a great Rabbi Klatzko, who's a very close friend of ours. Listen to this story. A story of forgiveness and also of lifting someone else up. He loves music. He made a lot of music together with his kids. He has 11 children, and he opens his home in ways that you cannot imagine. In his house, almost every Shabbat, people are sleeping everywhere. And his home he lives in Muncie, so it's on the outskirts of New York. And he has a big home, and every Shabbat, literally, tons of people staying in his house. He's amazing. Rabbi Klatzko. A brilliant speaker, by the way. You should listen to some of his talks. And also a great man. He wanted to buy a grand piano. So he went to a local antique store. This is a long time ago. And he sees a beautiful grand piano. He says, what's the price? So the man who's selling it says, it's $250, but I have another lady here who's interested in it. So Rabbi Klatzko says, okay, so it's fine, no problem. I'm not taking it. She was here first. But then the owner turns to the lady and he says, so Nu, are you buying it? And then he says to her, so where's the money? She starts to ask, she says, I want to buy it. She takes out her purse, and all she has, she counts the dollars, she has $70. So not nearly enough. So the man just turns away from the old lady, completely ignoring her, and looks at Rabbi Klatzko and says, it's yours for $250. So Rabbi Klatzko says, no, that's fine. She can pay the $70 and I'll pay the rest. And whenever she has the money, she can pay me back. This was a long time ago. $250 was a lot of money. Now it's bukas. But it's not bukas, it's money, but it's not. $250. He gave it to her. The story doesn't end. He's on his way out. It's an antique store, and he sees a very dusted old bottle of whiskey. He says, "Ooh, I have big Shabbats in my house. How much is that going for?" The owner of the store was so amazed by this rabbi. He says, "I've never seen someone like you. That for you is free. Take it." Rabbi Klatzko takes it, walks into some kind of pawn shop and asks them, "How much is this worth?" And do you know what they say? $250. Exactly the value of what he was going to get for the piano. Rabbi Klatzko did not sell the bottle, takes it home, and keeps it with all his alcohol, with all his l'chaims, and every Shabbat for years on end said the story, and he says, "I really believe that this bottle of whiskey has power of blessing for anyone who drinks it, because it took me a lot to give up that money and give it to someone else. And then Hashem showed me that here's my love, but I never sold the bottle, and I would give anyone a l'chaim to have this bottle if they take on a mitzvah. If you take on a mitzvah, you can have some of the whiskey." And one guy would put up, then another person would do another mitzvah. And within no time, this is by the end of the Shabbat, everyone is willing to take a shot of this ancient old whiskey, which probably tasted gross anyway, just because of that story. So my friends, I really believe that forgiveness, not only forgiveness, but also helping others, someone who's got $70, and instead of saying, oh, well, then I'll get it, saying, no, that's what they wanted, I'm going to help them get it. That selflessness is a ticket to greatness. That is your ticket to greatness. And this is how you bring out your inner light. Okay. I'm just going to say one more thing that's very important. And there's a list of things that you can do to make sure you do that. The word that's used here about lifting others is called Machrio LeKaf Zechut. Okay? Machrio LeKaf Zechut means, in the terms of Rabbi Noach Weinberg, the great rabbi of Aish, says, means lifting someone up, making someone else meritorious. But he says it can also mean giving benefit of the doubt. Okay? What does that mean? That if you have someone that you know that does something that's strange to you, that you do not know why he's doing it, and you ask yourself, why is that person so arrogant? Why is that person not answering me? I sent them a text. I sent them a message. What is going on? And it's an act that seems to you as evil, like it doesn't make sense. Or you're in work, get into a new job, and there's this one guy who's just like a big shot and rude. And you're asking yourself, what is going on? You assume that he's always straight. This is how we work. We as human beings, this is how we work. As soon as something's weird, we immediately assume that they're being selfish, they're being arrogant. We give titles. But another way of greatness is, no, I'm not going to give titles this time. I'm going to give him excuses. This is a statement of one of the people that used to work with us, of blessed memory, Sharon Schenker, who used to work with us. She has 5 kids and passed away. She had cancer a few years ago and passed away. We were literally working in our office together, and she was a great lady. And she used to say, make excuses for people. This is another definition of what it means, Machrio LeKaf Zechut. Making excuses for people. You know why that person's arrogant? You know why? Because they have self-esteem issues. Maybe their parents hurt them. Maybe they're looking for connection. Maybe they want to be different. They want to be recognized. They don't want to be different. Some people look like sometimes they want to be different and they stick out more. They just want to be special. They want to be recognized as someone special. They never felt that in their youth, and they're looking for that now. That's one of the reasons why people have arrogance. They want to be recognized as someone unique. They never were told they're unique. So let them have it. Give excuses for people. Yes, you were going to say something?
Well, I was going to ask, is this related to giving benefit of the doubt, like on Tisha B'Av?
Yes.
And overcoming baseless hatred, and I feel like there's a lot of this kind of language and sentiment on Tisha B'Av.
Right. Oh, so that's on Tisha B'Av, but this also, when it comes to Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, Melul stands for Ish Lere'ehu Matanot Levyonim, also stands for being there for other people. Because when you're there for other people, internalizing, I want to forgive more. This is our job. I want to forgive more. I want to be a better person as a person, more godly, then we'll have a great year. This is how we define having a great year. This is how we define Teshuvah. This is how we define God's forgiveness. When I forgive others, God will forgive me. So one of them is benefit of the doubt. So let's say I'm walking down the street and someone should be giving me a ride. You know, I'm on the bus stop and my friend sees me and he waves at me. And I say, he just drives straight past me. I'm like, come on, man, why? He saw me, I need a ride. And he just drove straight past. What should be your answer? Give excuses. What could be the excuse? Does anyone have a good excuse? Why did he drive past me and not stop? He's got an emergency. No, I know where he went. I saw on his Instagram post, he was at a party 5 minutes later. So what could be the excuse now? Give me another excuse. Come on, let's do this game.
He didn't notice you.
Huh?
He didn't notice
He didn't notice you. No. So I say, good. So I say, no, he noticed me. He saw, he even waved.
You could have posted the Instagram late, so he wasn't actually.
Could have posted the Instagram late. No, I have other friends that were there at the same time. I know that party. I was going to be there. Come on, let's play this game. How can we give him more excuses?
Someone was drunk at the party, you had to go help.
Someone was drunk at the party. Okay, how'd you get out of that one? I say, no. I know everyone that was there. Not one person was drunk. It was a Jewish party. No one gets drunk at Jewish parties. Huh?
Someone wanted to beat you up at the party, so he's protecting you.
Ah, someone was beating him up. No, they're all friends of mine. There was no arguments. There was no fights. Why on earth is he just driving straight past me? He knows that I needed to go in the car too. Give me more excuses. This is the game that we need to play every day in order to bring out our inner light, to love people. Huh? Maybe his car was full of stuff. Maybe it was full of stuff. He just couldn't sit in there.
His car was too messy.
It's too messy.
Couldn't take anywhere.
Do you think that's a good excuse, by the way? Yeah, for him, it's important that he needs a clean car in order to take a friend. He's ashamed. Yes?
So I think we talked about this about, I took the landmark forum, and what we learned in the forum was humans are meaning-making machines. So it's basically what you're describing is like, someone could have a face of like anger and disgust, but they just have gas. It's just we create these meanings.
I love that.
Right? We create these meanings out of things that, oh, this person made a mean face at me. No, they're just having a hard day. Not anything against you. It's just
I love that. Yeah, you don't know. So this is I wrote a list of things that we can do in order to make excuses for people. Does this person really want to do good? Most people want good, especially if it's someone you know well. Almost everyone wants to do good. So if it comes out that they said something that offended you, that's not really who they are. Almost everyone wants good. Give excuses. Maybe if I know for sure that person is making a mistake, that person really offended me, okay? So then say that maybe it's a past. Maybe it's a pain of the past that he went through, but he really doesn't, he wants to connect to me. She wants to connect to me. Okay, I wrote a bunch of things. Good friends will make him, will actually become friendlier with this person, not pull away from that person. Okay? When you are a good friend of an arrogant person, you'll make him more humble. Judge others the way you want to be judged. You would always want other people to give you excuses because we give ourselves excuses all the time. I'm late. I know I'm late for work, but it's because of this, that, and the other. And we give ourselves in our head all day. We are giving ourselves excuses. All day. Whenever we don't do something right, we say, yeah, you know what? I need that extra beer today because I've had a hard day. And then when you see someone else drinking a beer in the midday, you're like, hey, what's up, man? So we give excuses for everyone else, but not for ourselves. There's a great story that's brought down in our tradition of two judges. Their whole life, they were judges of the big courts. And their whole life, they're judging people. One was a really nice judge, and one was very strict. And eventually, they were both caught with some kind of scandal. For years, they were stealing money and tax invasion and whatever. And they were such big judges, no one wanted to take their case. So where did the case go? Supreme Court. So these two judges are sitting in front of the Supreme Court. What do you think the head judge of this case is going to say? What can he say? These are judges that know everything. Do you know what they'll say? We're going to pull up from both of you all the previous cases that were similar to this one that you yourselves judged on others. And you will be your own judge. And that's what they do. They take out the pile of papers for this guy, the pile of papers for this guy, all of the similar cases, and they say, look, with this guy, you said he's guilty. So that means you're guilty. And then to the other one that was more benevolent, they said, you actually gave him a pardon. You understood that it was a difficult situation or whatever it was, and you didn't make him guilty. So you also go free. The way you judge others is the way God will judge you. When we find benefit of the doubt, when we give other people excuses, God gives us excuses and we have a lot of blessings. But this is also about bringing out your inner light, being the best you. Okay. Don't be naive. when it comes to giving benefit of the doubt, if someone's obviously trying to hurt you, then don't say, I'm giving him benefit of the doubt. He's running at me with a knife in my yard. Benefit of the doubt. No, if someone's evil, then you don't give benefit of the doubt. We're not being naive. Maimonides actually says this: if someone's actually known in this certain area to be evil, then you actually are required to, not only to not give benefit of the doubt, but to judge him unfavorably. To actually say that for sure he's here to hurt me. That's if you know he's evil. If he's in between, if he's righteous, even if he's doing something wrong, you say for sure he's good. And if he's in between, a Benoni, do you know what we say about that person? That's when we're talking about judging favorably. You give him benefit of the doubt. Okay? Don't make conclusions about people, because we are always missing crucial information. There's a saying, be kind, everyone you meet is fighting a battle you know nothing about. Everyone you meet is going through stuff you know nothing about. Don't make conclusions. Wait. Give it time. God gives time. You give time. Don't express your anger and temper and frustration. Hold your temper and frustration. Do you know why? Because when we judge too quickly, most times we're wrong and we embarrass ourselves. It comes out that I was judging too quickly and then I hurt myself. You know the famous story of the guy who comes to his house and he's annoyed. Someone's in his driveway. Not only is someone in his driveway, he's with a big truck. And it's just like, he's like, I can't believe this. What is going on here? So the story is that this guy sees a beautiful Porsche in his driveway. And he's coming back from work. He's driving a truck, and the truck is filled with tar. And he comes home, and he sees someone in his driveway, parked there, a Porsche. He's like, I'm done. He goes with his car, with his truck, reverses a little bit into the Porsche, lifts up the whole thing, and drops the whole tar onto the Porsche, the brand new Porsche. And he's like, that's it. I paid him a lesson. This guy is never going to do that again. He starts getting out of his truck. He walks into his house. Lights are off. All of a sudden, surprise! Happy birthday! And he's like, what? What's going on? The whole family, everyone's there. And then they say, here's the gift. It's the keys to your beautiful Porsche. And what did he do to his Porsche? Destroyed it. Sometimes anger and frustration can destroy you. Why? Because it makes you make a decision too early. Wait, find out the full story. Don't come to conclusions. Okay? If someone is mistaken, know that they are hurting themselves. They're not just hurting you. Don't take it personally. When someone does something that's wrong to you, they're really hurting themselves more than they're hurting you. Someone you love can easily hurt you more than someone you don't love. If someone hurts you, it's because you love them. There's a great saying I always say, I said it last week I think also, you step on someone's toes only if you're close to them. If you're close to someone, it's more likely they'll step on your toes. So, if someone says something hurtful to you, and you are close to them, right, it's only because they really love you, and once in a while, if they say something hurtful, you need to forgive them. You've got to remind yourself of all the times that they were there for you in this relationship. All the times that they were speaking to you, they were talking to you. Okay. It's easier to get caught in negatives than positives. It's so much easier to find the faults. A person could do good for you all day. The minute they said that one comment, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. How can you say that to me? About my weight or whatever it is. That's why I'm thinking. How can you say that to me? I was, the whole day, everything was fine. They were great to you the whole day. They spent money, you went out, they had time, talking, everything. But that one comment, ooh, that's how we are. We're more likely and prone to see the negatives and the positives. So that's why judging favorably is so important, because most times we're wrong. Okay. Everyone has an inner good. That inner good is buried under confusion and pain. And finally, make the effort and you will discover the beautiful people around you. if you make the effort to give people excuses, suddenly all those horrible people around you are actually really nice. There's a famous saying of the guy that walks around and says, wakes up one day, puts his glasses on, looks out his window, and he's like, wow, the neighbor's laundry is so dirty. Looks to the other side, then dirty laundry, what's going on over here? And then he takes off his glasses, and he sees that his glasses are dirty themselves. Sometimes we see the faults in others, we're really seeing a fault in ourselves. Clean ourselves, we'll see beautiful scenery in others. Anyway, there's so much to say about this, but that's I think that's it. And yeah, there's a few other stories that I could share, but I don't think that time's up. So thank you so much. Thanks for joining. And okay, so today we spoke about lifting others up. If you want to be a light, don't just be the same person every day. Find that person that's coming to you, that needs you, and you lift them up. That's one way of Machrio LeKaf Zechut, lifting someone up. And the other energy, which is really, really important in order to bring out your inner light, is to giving benefit of the doubt. When you see others making mistakes and you give them excuses, you make excuses for them, you are bringing out your inner light. You're being honest. You're being honest with who that person is. Just like you give yourself excuses, give them excuses. Okay, my blessing to everyone is that you should have a good year.